Hi everybody, Nathan here from talkingbusiness.com. In today's workshop we're going to talk about keyword research. Some of the topics we're going to cover include why keyword research is so important, what software we use to conduct our keyword research, why we use it, are there any free alternatives out there, and also we're going to show you in depth exactly how we conduct our keyword and competition analysis. So firstly, it's really important to understand that keyword research is absolutely vital to the success of your online business. There are two main aspects to keyword research. The first one is anybody actually looking for your product? It's not impossible out there to introduce a new product to the marketplace and then convince people that they actually want it, but it is extremely expensive. It's really not a path we'd encourage you to go down. It involves you actually having to go out there or advertising and try to reach people who just don't care that they should be interested in your new product. Whereas if people are already looking for your product, then you don't actually have to go out there and reach and convince them that they want it, because they already want it. They're already looking for it. So that's aspect number one. Number two is, can you actually compete in that space? Everybody's searching for iPhones, massive searches. That's great, but clearly it's not something you want to get involved with because you simply can't compete with the other online businesses out there. So they're the two aspects. One, is there anybody searching for it? And two, can you compete in that space? There is some great software that can really help you do this. It also requires a little bit of experience, but we're going to get into that right now and show you how to do it. So here we are in LongTail Platinum, which is the software that we use to do our keyword and competition research. Now it does cost a bit of money, and we will talk about some of the free alternatives and what they can do at the end of the program. It's a little bit easier to just run through exactly what we do and show exactly what we do when we're looking for a new site or a new niche. And then at the end, we'll tell you why we think LongTail Platinum is worth the extra money. But let's get started. So firstly, once you open LongTail Platinum, if we see up the top here next to campaign 1, we just see a little edit button. If we click on that, we can change a few things, but the biggest issue we're looking at here is what country you're targeting. Now we always suggest that you target a particular country. Google loves their Google local listings. It's easier to rank in a specific country and target a specific country than it is to try and just rank on every Google. So for this particular workshop example, we're going to target Australia. That's where our shipping and logistics is personally, even though we live in Thailand. But if you are in the UK and that's who you want to target, you don't have to be in the country. Obviously we're not in Australia at the moment, but you do have to target a specific country. So it's important to make sure this setting is correct. Everything else you can leave and save campaign. Next thing you need to do is add seed keywords. Now in a previous workshop you will have come up with a massive list of different products, and this is when you want to pull out that list. Don't put in, I normally like to put in about 5 seed keywords at a time, and try to think a little bit outside the square. Don't just grab your list and then take 5 off that list and put it in. Try to grab 1 and then come up with some different ideas surrounding that. For example, one of the example we use in our book Retail Rebellion is door handles. Not that we specifically had any desire to sell door handles, it just happened to be what I was looking at the time. But if we put in door handles and then come up with a few, think maybe door knobs, or how about cabinet handles, or kitchen handles. They're all kind of, as you can see, kind of related, but just using a few different words. And finally, I might just put in, how about cupboard handles. You never know exactly what you're going to find, so feel free to think a little bit outside the square, but still all surrounding a specific product. And here we're talking about door handles. Select the match type, always choose exact. Enter your own keywords, this is optional. If you've got specific keywords you want to find the traffic for, this is where you put them. we're looking for ideas, so we're not going to worry about that just now. You can also fetch domain. Is there a domain, for example, is doorhandles.com or doorhandles.com.au available? You can actually find that out here, as well as finding out these title competitions will help you determine how many other pages are using that particular keyword in their title. We tend not to use it. We are looking more for what's happening in the top 10 of Google, and then we'll have a look at the title ourselves. This is the bit that's really, really good. You can apply different filters to the results, and this is something that you can't do in any of the free alternatives, in that here we can see average local searches. So the difference between local searches and global searches, you'll see, is how many people, because we've chosen Australia, we'll get results for how many people in Australia are searching for, say, door handles or doorknobs. But we'll also get a result of saying how many people worldwide are searching for it. Of course, we're more interested in the local searches here, and because we want to get a certain amount, anything below sort of around the 200 area, we're probably not that interested in when looking at for our primary niche. Ultimately, we want a couple of thousand searches, but sometimes you can get a few extra words that together, combined, make for a couple of thousand searches and make for a good business down the track. So we'll leave that at 200. We're not worried about the global searches or the CPC. Number of words can be very helpful down the track. Again, not as much right now, but when you're trying to come up with different article ideas and for getting long tail keywords, then choosing, filtering your results by 3 or 4 words can really, really narrow down quickly what some of the articles you should be producing for your site to get those searches. Right now we're just going to leave that at 2, and then we can generate keywords. So it's going out now and having a chat with Google and finding out some information for us. Not only finds the keywords that we put in, it actually finds, Longtail is able to find around 800 related keywords per seed keyword that we put in. So that's pretty amazing. If you use the free Google keyword tool, it'll still come up with these results, but you'll have to register first, and then you'll get 800 results per keyword, but only if you put in the keywords one at a time and then go through it. So this is where, between that and the filtering, this is where LongTail Platinum is just so much quicker. But again, you can eventually get this particular information through the free Google keyword tool. So as you can probably tell, this is the first part of our keyword analysis, in that we're looking at, is anybody looking for these items? We can see on here we've got local searches, and you can see this is per month. These aren't exact figures. These are kind of estimates by Google, and you'd never go hard and fast on them. It's just, but it does give you an idea of which particular words are being searched for more than any others. Still going up here, we're on to cabinet handles now, and we can also see here the global searches. You can see the massive difference here. There's, worldwide there's over 22,000 searches for doorknobs, but in Australia there's 880. So this is why it's just so vitally important that you choose your country setting correctly. Sometimes I have made the mistake, because we target different countries for different sites, of not doing this, and you'll get really, really excited, and then you'll go back and find out that actually you're looking at the wrong country, and in the country that you really want to target, nobody's looking for it. So please don't make that mistake. This other information here, average CPC, not really something that we're all that concerned about as an e-commerce provider. And the advertiser competition, again, not something we're concerned about. This is more for people who are doing sort of information sites, and they want to advertise and make money that way through information sites, and not something we care about. This column here, add to favorites, this becomes very, very handy, and we'll use that in another workshop, again only available in LongTail Platinum. And the average keyword competition can always also become handy, but we'll use that when we conduct our competitor analysis. And that's where using this software really does shine, and is probably one of the main reasons why we would recommend buying it. Okay, so it's finished the research now for all of those seed keywords, and it's come up with a lot. A whole lot of results have been filtered out. It's come up with nearly 2,000 results initially. That's because it will have found quite a few duplicates between door handles and doorknobs. A lot of the synonyms would have been the same, so it automatically gets rid of those for you. And then using the filters that we applied, we can see that nearly 1,800 of those have been filtered out. So that's really a massive, massive time save, especially when you'll find once you got more than one site, you'll be doing a lot of keyword research, not just for finding new niches, but for finding new keywords to target for your articles and also for some backlinking purposes. But for now, let's sort it by local searches, and then immediately we can see now that what words are going to be useful. Some of these, obviously, we don't care about. We're not going to sell flat pack kitchens or sliding doors or kitchen sinks. But the first one that counts is door handles. It gets nearly 3,000 searches in Australia, so that's actually a really good search number. If we go down a little bit further, looking for door hardware, yeah, maybe door locks, maybe door knobs, 880. That's still pretty reasonable, but you probably wouldn't do that as a niche by itself, unless you could combine a few other keywords with it. Going down, cabinet handles, 590. Anything now, we kind of, it's pretty low. For instance, we wouldn't create a site that's purely based around cabinet handles. But we're still open here to, door handles is fantastic if we could compete with that. And door knobs, are they related to cabinet handles? Could you create a site that sells door knobs as well as cabinet handles? Of course you could. They're very highly related items. Door stops, not so much. Covered handles, yes, absolutely. Kitchen door handles, definitely. Going down, kitchen cabinet handles, 320. So we're seeing some possibilities traffic-wise here. Ideally, if we could compete for door handles, 3,000 is definitely enough for us to start a business on, so long as we can compete. If we couldn't compete with door handles, then we'd be looking at, say, doorknobs. Can we compete with that as well as a few others? Ideally, the best case scenario is that we could actually do all of them, particularly given that they're all very related. There's nothing wrong with having, a door handles online site that sells door handles, door knobs, and cabinet knobs. It's all very highly related. They're highly related items, so there's no problems with doing that. But let's delve into our first actual bit of competition research. We know we've got traffic now, so we need to find out whether or not we can compete. So where we're door handles, all you have to do now is click on door handles, and it'll go out there, and what it's doing is going and finding the top 10 results within Australia. Again, make sure that your country that you're targeting is selected here. It's finding the top 10 results, and it's going to tell us a whole lot of information about those. Alright, so let's start with the beginning here. First thing we're looking at is the URL itself. Things we like, things we don't like. What we like is what we don't like to start with is root domains. Root domains is the actual homepage domain of the site. You can see there's a / here, but there's no other pages, whereas this one is obviously a page within the site. It's not actually the root domain of the site itself. So we've got budgethandles.com.au, we've got thelockandhandle.com.au, lockweb.com.au, Castella. You see the point here, these are all actual root domains, whereas these ones here, that's a page, that's a page, that's a page, that's a category, I'm guessing, and that's a Wikipedia entry, obviously not Wikipedia itself. I don't like seeing a lot of root domains, and this is quite a few. Here, it's not a make or break I should explain, with all these results here, whether it's the URL, the title of the page authority, the keyword competitive, none of these things in and of themselves will make or break a site. It really is a combination and an overall feeling at the end of it all. Can you compete? There are definitely some major ones though you've got to be looking out for, and major deal breakers. Lots of root domains is not a deal breaker for me, but it's definitely a warning, and it's a red flag. Next, we're going to move on to the title. The title is one of the most important things in SEO and one of the most important things in ranking. So what we're looking for now is the keyword being used prominently within the title? First of all, is it being used? And we're looking at the exact keyword here. And we're talking, whether it's got an S or not an S, that makes a difference. So right now we're looking at door handles with an S. So that's what we're looking for. You see in the first result we have door handles, in the second we don't. The words door and the words handles are there, but it's not the keyword together, and that's what we're looking for. The lock and handle.com.au, it doesn't have door handles. Brett's Hardware does have door handles, it has it a couple of times. Door handles here, that doesn't have door handles, that does have door handles. This does have door handles as well, even though it's not bolded for some reason. This one also has door handles. So we've got a few there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10 have it in their title. That's actually not too bad. That's not too bad, particularly for an e-commerce sort of word, a product-based keyword. It's not it's not unusual to see every single result have it in the title. So that's actually not too bad. So coming over here, now before we get into the keyword competitiveness, which is probably one of our favorite metrics here, we need to talk about the concept of authority when it comes to domain authority or page authority. It's really hard to define what authority is, and I've yet to find a great definition for it, but effectively it's does Google think your page is trustworthy? And how trustworthy does it think it is? For example, it thinks Wikipedia is very trustworthy. One way to tell this is look at the domain authority here. It's 100 out of 100. Now, that's fairly obvious. I guess not everybody trusts what you read on Wikipedia. But as a site, does Google think that Wikipedia is spamming or providing quality content to the world? And obviously Google thinks that it's providing a quality service, and it has a high trust factor with Google. Now, a lot of these other random sites you can see range a lot in their domain authority. So that's really the authority of the site itself. Now within the site, of course, you've got individual pages, and we can also get a page authority. How authoritative is that particular page within the site. So that's also important, but these kind of metrics again are a little bit difficult to work with. I would never say yes or no to a site based on the competition's authority alone, unless all of them were super high. But you can see here that there's some quite low ones and some massively high ones. But the other issue, of course, is just because Google thinks this site is trustworthy doesn't necessarily mean it thinks that even the page is actually relevant to the keyword. Just because a site has 100 domain authority, it doesn't mean that a particular page within it is really relevant to the keyword at all. Well, certainly not every page is relevant to every keyword, is it? And that's where we think LongTail Platinum sort of really comes into its own and is worth the money. And it's something that no free tool, and even its cut down version LongTail Pro, can't provide. And that's the keyword competitiveness. That's this metric here. What that does is it looks at the domain authority as well as the page authority, and then it actually goes out there and reads the page itself and says, okay, well, this is high authority or it's low authority, and also has a look at how relevant the page is to the keyword that you're looking at and comes up with a metric that tells you whether or not it's relevant and authoritative. And that's why it's probably one of the most important metrics here. Then what it does is it comes up with an average keyword competitiveness across the top 10. Anything below 35 we would start to look at. Anything below 30 is really good. Around 30 is still good. This is something we would consider. We would still weigh it with other factors though. I'm still concerned about the root domains there. I'm also a little bit concerned about the PageRank over on the right. We do have a no PageRank again is sort of a lot of people sort of don't use it anymore, and I can understand that. But it's a little bit like domain authority, I guess. Domain authority is produced by another company called SEO Moz that produced that metric. So it's not by Google. It's just what they think Google is looking at. PageRank is is a form of Google authority and how authoritative it thinks, or how important Google thinks a particular page might be. It's not necessarily particularly accurate, but it does become pretty clear that Google uses it, and we need to have a look at it. What we prefer in the top 10 rankings is to have probably at least 2 PageRank zeros and no PageRanks, and we certainly don't like seeing PageRank 4 and 5s in there. And here we've got a couple of PageRank 4 and a PageRank 5. I generally don't get too concerned about Wikipedia. Some people might find that weird because Wikipedia is pretty powerful. But if you're on the front page anywhere and Wikipedia is above you and somebody's typing in door handles because they want to buy door handles, are they going to click on Wikipedia? No. Pretty much everybody out there knows that Wikipedia doesn't sell products. So if they're looking to buy, it's almost in some ways a non-event. The only time it really affects you is if it actually pushes you off the front page, because as soon as you're on page 2, you're basically in the wilderness. But as a general rule, we tend not to freak out about it too much. So basically looking at this keyword, this is one of those borderline keywords. I don't like all these root domains is my biggest issue here. I don't like some of the high PRs here as well. That's a bit of a concern. There are, however, some positive factors, as in only sort of half of the sites are using the keyword in their title. We've got an average keyword competitiveness of 30, which I do like. If we look at the links here, backlinks are obviously very important. Page links, juice page links, what's the difference? The difference is the page links will tell you how many links are to the page, but juice page links, will actually tell you how many links are actually passing any value to the page. So what does that mean? It basically means that a lot of these page links could be internal links, which have some value but not as much as getting them from external domains. Or this site here, for instance, has 316 page links but only 2 juice page links. It's quite possible that 314 of these links are all coming from the same site somewhere. Whereas what you really want to do is have a lot of links on a lot of different domains, a lot of relevant links. Obviously we'll be going that into another workshop. But this is a pretty important factor as well. Are there a lot of pages with a lot of juice page links? In this case there are quite a few here. I mean, look at this one, page 5 has pretty good domain authority for an e-commerce site, has a lot of juice page links, a lot of page authority, pretty high keyword competition. That one there could be difficult to beat. The one advantage that you have is they don't actually use door handles in their title. So it's still not impossible for you to beat them with a very door handle specific site. I'm already having some thoughts about what we could do with this keyword, and I'll talk about them a little bit later after we have a look at some others. But I am a little bit borderline with it. No, if you're brand new to doing this, I probably would think twice about it. Again, let me just reiterate why. We've got quite a few sites, root domain sites, where the actual site itself, the home page, is ranking for the keyword. While we have a couple there with low juice page links, there's a few there with very high juice page links. And the PageRank here, we've got some quite high ones here. So they're a bit of a worry. But you can see here again, the average keyword competitors is telling us that yes, there are some high authority sites here, but they're not necessarily as relevant to the keyword as they could be. And that's an opening for us. Definitely 30 is a good number to see. 30 or less, I think, is great. That's what you're looking for. Let's go and have a look at some of these other keywords. Here's doorknobs 880. Let's have a look at that one. Immediately, I think you probably know from the last one that I just did, I'm immediately happier because we've only got one root domain here. And you can see straight away it doesn't even include the keyword that we're looking at, which is doorknobs. Fantastic. Yay. We've also got Wikipedia entry near the top, which is great, which also doesn't include the keyword. So already I'm a little bit brighter, except for the fact that it has a lot less traffic. So we've got to remember that as well. And look at the keyword competitive, 23. So now I'm getting quite a bit happier. Let's move on to the title straight away. We're going to go through this a little bit quicker. Door handles and knobs. Again, it's got door knobs, but not together. It's not the actual keyword, so that's good. Here we have door knobs. That's our keyword. Don't have it. Does have it. Wow. So we've got 1, 2, only 2 in the title. That's pretty good. So we've got low root domains. We have the keyword not being used much in titles. We have very low keyword competitiveness. Let's have a look at some. Oh, here we go. Look at the juice page links here. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 2. That's pretty good. So we're quite happy now. Domain authority, there are a few high ones here, but I'm less freaked out about domain authority when we've got some pretty low page authority and we've got some low keyword competitiveness. PageRank, we've got a couple of no PRs. We love that. We love the no PRs. I mean, let's just take this result here. No PageRank. Fairly low domain authority. It's okay for an e-commerce site, but it's not high. 0 juice page links. Not even many actual page links. Very low page authority. Extremely low keyword competitiveness. Doesn't mention it in the title and is not a root domain. So do we think we could outrank this listing? Yes, we do. Certainly over time. Doesn't happen overnight, but this is a good example of a low competition keyword. And as I'm sure you've always wanted to get into doorknobs, that's a dream come true. But if we were to say, okay, doorknobs is too high a competition for us now, we want something a little bit lower. Doorknobs is a perfect example, but it's only got 880 searches per month. So that's a little bit of a worry and a little bit of a red light. So unless we can get some other related keywords that we can also target, maybe some related, highly related products, and I mean highly related, then we might even have to pass on this niche. Kitchen handles, are they related to doorknobs? Yep. If you got basically a doorknob, cabinet knob, kitchen handle, cupboard handle site, which doesn't seem out of place to me, then there's no reason why you couldn't target this keyword as well. So let's have a look at, see how kitchen handles is going. Oh, okay, look at this. We've got it in the URL. We've got a bunch of root domains, kitchen handles, only a few in the title. Well, we've got a couple of root domains though. Have a look at this. We've got no PageRank 111, no PageRank 001. That's a pretty good sign. Juice page links 14, 0, 4, 0, 0, 11, 0, 25, 0. So again, fairly low. Would have liked to see a few more lower ones than that. But based on the PageRank here, this is shaping up to be pretty good. And our magic number here, 23, I think we have a winner. I think that's also something we could target as well. The difficulty with targeting multiple keywords is you can't just sort of have your homepage and your main site dedicated to one keyword. You have to kind of attack it in a little bit roundabout kind of way. Different ways you can do that is with content on your site, add articles, how to install kitchen handles or how to choose kitchen handles that will suit your kitchen or something like that. I'm just rattling these off the top of my head. And another way that you can target it is through your categories, making sure you have a kitchen handles category, a specific category, having content on that page as well as your products on that category. We'll go into that later down the track in other workshops, but you can definitely do it. But what I would say is if you're going to go down the multiple, almost having several primary keywords, make sure that they are very low competition. It's easy to rank a homepage in some ways, in my opinion, in our opinion, than it is to necessarily rank, say, a category page. So this one I think fits that bill. I don't really like the root domains there, but they're such weak pages that I think we can outrank them even just with a category page, certainly a lot of them, and get a whole bunch of that traffic. So between the two there, we're already doing okay, but let's see if we can add some more. Here's some cabinet handles. Again, we've got a couple of root domains. Whenever I see an exact match to main, that particularly hyphenated one, it's probably just going to be an information site. That's actually a pretty good sign for us. They're usually pretty easy to beat. Google likes to rank e-commerce sites for products. That's fairly obvious these days, so if people are trying to rank those old, thin information sites that actually don't provide much value, then they're usually easy to beat with a properly set up, well-researched e-commerce site. So again, we've got average keyword competitiveness below 30, a little bit higher than some of the others. Cabinet handles, we've got once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Okay, so there's a few more times in the title there. But we've got no PageRank, 0, 0. So there's a bit of weakness there. There is a PageRank 5 here, which always makes me look twice, particularly when it's got a ridiculous amount of links. But it doesn't seem to be targeting cabinet handles in its title. And obviously it's being outranked by some quite thin and weak sites. So that's definitely one that I would add to the site as well, seeing as it's just so well related. And we're talking about products too here that are fairly easy to ship, and I'm pretty sure we'd be able to source them pretty easily as well. We've got cupboard handles as well, so the traffic you can see is really getting up here between the different keywords that we're targeting. This is the last one I'll do. I know there are a few more, but again, a couple of root domains there, similar ones. We're starting to see a pattern. We've seen these sites before. They're not actually targeting the keyword itself. In fact, this is the only site that is, kitchencupboardhandles.com.au. I can guarantee you that that's a site that is just an information site, probably pointing to either an affiliate sales or to somebody else who's selling cupboard handles. Average keyword competitors, that's our lowest yet, and we've got 0, 0, no PR, 0, 0. So this is another great one. Page links, we've got fairly low. We've got a couple of big ones there. Again, they're clearly the root domain sites, but they're not actually targeting the keyword itself. So there you go. I mean, that's basically how we would conduct our keyword research. For the purposes of the rest of this workshop, we are going to be registering domains and hosting and building an actual example site for you. So I think we'll probably do that just using some of the keywords that we found today. As previously mentioned, when we first came up with the idea of door handles, when I was writing the book Retail Rebellion, I just was literally looking around the room for something small that you could create a site out of, and I saw the door handle, and that was it. That was how I came up with the idea. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. I didn't choose that specifically because I knew there was some low competition keywords that we could use. And in fact, door handles itself, I don't know. I think we'll probably specifically target doorknobs initially. But here's another thought for you. There's no reason why you can't create a door handles site. Doorknobs, cabinet knobs, all these things are all handles related. So there's no reason why you can't say, okay, well initially we're going to target doorknobs and kitchen handles and cabinet handles. That's what we're going to target initially while we rank for those and get some traffic and start getting some sales through. But our, say, 2 to 3 year plan is to also rank for door handles. So obviously if you could do that, then that's quite a fair bit of traffic that you're now exposed to, and that's something else that you can think about. But initially I think we'll probably target doorknobs and some of these other keywords that we just found, and we've shown you how to go about doing that. I hope you've enjoyed this workshop. You can see that with LongTail Platinum it does make it fairly easy. As for free alternatives, you can use the Google Keyword Tool. That will get you can eventually find this information as far as the searches are concerned. It doesn't do any competitor analysis. It will talk about competition, and this is a word of warning for the Google Keyword Tool. The competition it's talking about is the same as this advertiser competition. It's got nothing to do with your level of competition as far as the search engine rankings are concerned. I see this mistake being made all the time, and please don't make it. Something that's low competition just means it's got low competition for advertisers. It might be a nightmare to actually rank for. So please don't use that. The only free tools that I would probably use for competition analysis would be a tool called SEO Quake. I'll make sure there's a link below the video. It's a plugin for Firefox or pretty much any browser these days, and it will show you some of these metrics here. I don't particularly trust its backlink profile that it tells you, but you can see things like PageRank, and you'll be able to see the title just in the Google results, and you'll be able to see root domains as well. What you won't get are things like your domain authorities, your juice page links, your page authorities, and the most important one, the keyword competitiveness. And as I've stressed before, keyword and competition research is where you'll make or break the success of your site. All the other things are important, all the SEO down the track, they're all important, but they're all useless unless people are actually looking for the product and you can actually compete. The SEO that we'll show you as far as getting backlinks to help give your site a bit of a push in the rankings, they simply won't work if you've chosen a keyword that is too competitive. It basically works almost like on an exponential level. If you've got a keyword that's a little bit more competitive than another, you won't have to do just a little bit more SEO. You'll have to double it, and then if you've got one that's a little bit more competitive than that, you might have to quadruple it, and it goes up from there. So this is why everything that we talk about comes back to choosing a low competition keyword with traffic. And we've just shown you how to do it, so now there's no excuses.
Thanks for watching this Talking Business workshop. If you enjoyed it, then hit like, or better yet, if you know someone that could benefit greatly from this video, share it with them. All the tools that we mentioned, whether they're paid or free, are listed below, and sometimes we get some pretty good deals on them, so be sure to use our links. If you want more workshops, head back to talkingbusiness.com. But if you need the blueprint, grab yourself a copy of our book, Retail Rebellion, and we'll see you next time.